Okay, hello. Here we are, July 11th. I missed a couple of days. I know. But the nice thing about that is you can always just search back to last year and experience last year as if it was today, right? Right? Yeah. It's, a tumultuous week, but here we are. Another day, another today's Decay. Celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. Today, in 1871, Andre Delord was born, who was one of the main people involved with the Grand Guignol in France, which, for those of you that don't know, was live horror theater where, it was like sadomasochism on display, where, you like that, do ya? Oh, you like that, do ya? Where people would sit in the audience and marvel in the dark as people on stage would have their arms torn off or maybe burnt or have their ears, eyes gouged out, and so on and so forth, as you do, which was a big deal in the turn of the century through, when did it go through? Did it go through the 40s? I think it went through the 40s. But, with different people involved at different points, because that's several generations worth of people enjoying being tortured. Who else? Hugo B. Cave, born today, 1910. Weird Tales writer. Zecharia Sitchin, born 1920, also a Weird Tales writer, but in a different way. He was an ancient aliens writer who wrote the 12th Planet and the whole Earth Chronicles series in the 70s and 80s, most of which has been debunked, but it sure is fun to think about. Forget people of color couldn't build these ancient structures. To me, because I read a bunch of his books, and I don't think he ever said anything like that or implied anything like that, but rather that people back then in ancient times were just as smart and or stupid as we are today, and when they said we worship these higher beings that are able to fly around in chariots over our heads and have fights with each other and breed with each other and breed with us, and this is what they look like and these are their names, maybe just take them literally, because those people, our ancient relatives, or just saying it as it was. Could that be? If roles were reversed and we went to a foreign planet and then fought with each other because we had been held up in a spaceship for a very long time together and hate each other, as most humans do, would it be so surprising if the creatures that lived on that other planet that we were visiting didn't worship us as gods? I don't think that's such a far-flung theory. Anyway, Zecharia Sitchin, like I said, I read all of his writings, and most of it is just kind of meandering and nonsense, but I do really enjoy it. It's better than Game of Thrones, which doesn't have an ending. I guess Zecharia Sitchin doesn't have an ending either. Because to me, I was reading it because I wanted to hear who, like, the Yahweh Judeo-Christian God was in this pantheon of gods, and he never gets there. And to me, that's like, $64,000 question or whatever of who begat whom here, and where does this character fit in? Which all leads me to calling Coast to Coast Radio to talk about this, because I think that, which was, when did I do that? I don't know, 2008-ish, let me say. And talked to Ian Punnett at that time, who kicked me off the air, but I was glad to be on regardless, and it was all about that I think that the Judeo-Christian God in this Zecharia Sitchin-esque pantheon of gods was one of their, I don't know which one, but whichever one he was, or she was, made a point of hiding their identity, that you can't depict the Holy Spirit or Yahweh, and that knowing Yahweh's real name is like a point of power or something like that. Because this God basically had like space madness and knew that one day people from Planet X were going to come here, Nibiru, and try to figure out what happened to this exploration party or whatever they were doing here. And this character knew that like they needed to hide their tracks because one day they were going to get found out. Yeah. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. What else? Reverend Charlie Jackson, born today, 1932. Awesome stuff. I'll never forget sitting in Wowsville, which to me was kind of like the swan song of St. Mark's Place, when St. Mark's was someplace to go to. Alberto and Wowsville would just let us sit there and drink and listen to records and not buy anything. And one of those records I listened to and did buy was Reverend Charlie Jackson. Excellent stuff. Orson Welles on this day performed with Mercury Theater on the Air, their rendition of Dracula on CBS Radio, 1938. Super exciting to think about. Alan Freed's Moondog House premiered on this day on WJW Radio on this day, 1951. 1951, think about that in relation to like rock and roll and Elvis, that's like 54, 55. 1951, Trailblazer. And on this day, 1957, none other than Peter Murphy of Bauhaus was born. So there you go, it's your whole day. I'm hurting, but still here. Like Decay. Today's Decay. And Louie. July 11th. From us to you. Till tomorrow. Goodbye.